Hey guys, Anton McCarthy here. I wanted to record a quick video today just on adolescence. Okay, so this is going to be very quick, or as quick as I can make it, right? What is the missing piece when it comes to the discussion around Netflix's adolescence TV show, which is getting a second series, by the way? So there's a lot of talk around the different elements that relate to the the kid in the series, right? And the general conversation around what's up with our young adults, right? What's up with our young men? Why are they behaving the way they do? And there's a lot of talk about the environment they're in, right? So their parents, their families, and what they see on social media, what they see online in general, the kind of material they're accessing, the way they relate to women, right? In the case of boys, and even men as well, right? Um, the lack of role models, all those kind of things, right? But take it back to basics, okay, and ask yourself, what is it that creates our experience of life in terms of how do we relate to the outside world? What is it that impacts us and causes us to behave in a certain way? So if you take, say, a 13, 14, 15-year-old boy, they're at school and they like a girl, and but the girl doesn't like them back, and they get rejected, or they're being bullied in the schoolyard, or um, they're not getting what they wanted. Their life is not matching up with their expectations, or having trouble at home. They have an angry father or angry mother, or whatever it might be. Multiple different things can be happening, of course, right? So it's the same for everyone. Everyone has their own circumstances, their own life situations, challenges, etc. But ultimately, what is it that causes somebody to behave in a certain way? And the missing piece, really, for me is, how does a thought or feeling become a problem? That's the question, right? So how does, when 13, 14, 15-year-old boy thinks something, feels something, what is it that takes that thought or feeling that is neutral, right? It's not a thing, right? A thought or feeling is inside you, but how does it become a problem and manifest as a problem in terms of behavior and in terms of the real world situations, circumstances, effects? That's the piece that nobody seems to be asking, okay? Um, what do we expect young people to do with certain thoughts and feelings? Now there may be, I'm sure there are probably mindfulness classes in school. Not that I'm speaking about mindfulness here, but I think it's time for us to look at, how are we really equipping young people with the knowledge, the insights, the perspectives, the skills to really look at the whole thought feeling area. Even just getting into how a thought doesn't have to be a problem, how a feeling doesn't have to be a problem, how a thought doesn't say anything about you necessarily, how they're not personal, how emotions can come up. You can observe them, you can feel them, you can move on from them. They're not saying anything about your life in particular. You know, if a girl says something to you that you don't like, or it's not in line with your expectations, if you don't get the response to your romantic advances, let's say, whatever it might be, um, it doesn't mean that you have to act on whatever you're understandably feeling in that moment, perhaps. But there are different things you can do to really look at those emotions and really stay grounded and um, have a perspective on them that doesn't lead to something negative happening. That's the conversation I think needs to start happening, um, because it's all focused, and we're very focused as a Western society on the outside. We have this outside in perspective that circumstances happen and they affect us. And of course they do, right? Things in the world affect us. But we then look to the outside naturally, understandably at least, to try and fix them. So we try to rearrange the outer circumstances to be just as we want them so they don't affect us emotionally. Whereas what we need to look at is the inside. We need to come from inside out. If our life is created inside out, if our emotions come from the inside and affect us, why are we always looking to the outside to try and change things, to try and manage things, tweak them so they're just right? Doesn't mean that we don't take action on the outside, that we don't try to improve the areas, look at the areas that we've mentioned. But the missing piece is the inside game. That's what we have to look at a lot more. So hope you like that. Subscribe for more. Cheers.